All right, the intensification method we're going to discuss next is going to be force negatives. Now, as Lawrence will explain, force negatives are one of the most advanced intensification methods. If you just started training, if you've been training for 3 months or 6 months, you might not jump right into this, okay? Now, if you look at the phases of muscle growth, or when we gain the most muscle, we have the concentric phase and we have the eccentric phase, right? So the eccentric phase when you're lowering the weight, the concentric phase where you're actually coming up. And studies tend to show that on the way down is when you gain the most muscle. But the thing to understand is those studies that show that you gain more muscle lowering the weight, it's because you can handle more weight on the way down on a lift than you can on the way up. So in those studies, they're actually putting more weight on the way down than on the way up. But in the studies when they just look at equal weight, you don't get more gains on the way down than up. So in order to take advantage of that research, you actually have to do force negatives. So how do you do it? When you come up, you can lift less weight than on the way down. So if you're with your partner, you actually come all the way up and then you press down, your partner will press down on the weight to add extra load to that eccentric phase. You take advantage of the extra strength you have in the extra eccentric phase, and you're taking advantage of the tremendous amount of growth that you can get. So Lawrence, how do you use eccentric, assisted reps?
I like to use eccentric reps towards the end of my workout if I have a really good training partner that actually knows how much you can lift. That connection with that person, or just another well-trained individual, is going to be key for this. Because like Dr. Jacobs said, this is not a easy thing or something for beginners. This is something for late intermediate to advanced lifters. But when I use it, I make sure that they're slowly pulling down. We do like a 10-second count, and it really makes sure that you're really working on that eccentric phase, and you curl up as hard as possible and you hold that contraction, and they're slowly not pushing on the bar, but I like them pushing on the top part of my wrist if I'm doing a curl to pull it back down. So the focus is really on the eccentric phase of that muscle stretching out.
Right, and that's a really good point what Lawrence says there, because bottom line is that, like, if you're just beginning and you have a partner who's not advanced as well, they're going to go and put their whole body weight, and that can lead to injury. So you're talking about being advanced both yourself and make sure your partner's experienced enough to apply this method, right? So really good insight, Lawrence.
All right.